Good morning, everybody. It's the Coolbmore again coming at you. Today, I'm going to talk to you about knowing your business. And, being in the rideshare business, it's not just about knowing the streets, knowing how to read a GPS, or even knowing how to drive your own car. That's not all that's entailed. Knowing your business is just like if you were a retailer and you have to sell something, and you need to know what's in your ad, what's the promotions that are ongoing, so you can inform your customers. So this is no different than being a retailer at a Best Buy or Sears or something like that. It's no different. So in the last few months, especially Uber, and I know Lyft has done a couple changes to their way of doing business too. But Uber especially has done a couple changes, and they called it the 180 days of change. So basically the last 6 months since, I believe, August, they've done a lot of changes. And still to this day, when I talk to customers, when they get in my vehicle, customers still don't know. And maybe you don't think it's your duty. Maybe you think it's for them to go into the app to look at. And partially, yeah, that's true. They should go in to see if there's any changes or anything. But we're the ones that are being paid. So in my opinion, we should at least talk to them about it. Let them know. Because again, some customers till this day don't know the changes that are going on, especially with Uber. So in the 180 days of change, some of the things that have been going on is, hey, especially for us drivers, they finally added in the option to tip. And with that option to tip, customers there, when the ride is ended, they go to rate us. There's a pop-up window that'll come up and say, hey, do you want to tip your driver $1, $2, $5, or there's a custom amount that customers can put in. So that's one great thing because, the rideshare program is supposed to be a cashless experience for the rider and the driver. So that limits people carrying cash because not a lot of people carry cash nowadays, and most of the time it's plastic. So that was their thinking with this. And also to come on board with what Lyft is doing, is they've been offering a tip option in their app since at least I started driving back in February. So another thing that Uber has changed is so before it was, customer had 5 minutes to cancel their ride, right? And then they would incur the minimum charge. Now a customer has 2 minutes from the time that they hail the ride to cancel their ride, or after the 2 minutes they'll incur the basic charge. Also, at the time that they are notified that their driver has arrived, they have, after 2 minutes, you'll get a 2-minute countdown on the driver's window, and I believe the customer gets it too. They have 2 minutes to get into your vehicle and start the ride. Now, after 2 minutes, it'll give the driver an option. This is something that you should do. You should either, once that option comes up, it's going to be either call, text, or I believe cancel. You call. I always call your rider and say, hey, I'm here, been here for 2 minutes, are you coming or are you not? Don't be rude about it, of course, but, just ask them what their status is. Or send them a text. A lot of people respond better by text, but give them a chance to respond. After then, every minute after 2, then they are charged, and you'll see on your app where it says the rider is being charged. Something very similar to Lyft. As soon as you arrive and you start the little waiting time, it's literally as soon as you roll up as a Lyft driver, it'll say your wait time is being included into the fare. So that's something to make sure your customers know about. Another thing is the type of ride that you're offering or that you're going to perform for those days. So again, on another video, I talked about being an Uber Eats driver or picking up and dropping off people. So back in the day, you did if you gave rides and you delivered through Uber Eats, you didn't have a choice. You had to do both. Now they've changed it to where in your profile, just above, or if you click on where it says, it shows the picture on your profile, and then it shows your vehicle. If you click on that, it'll say change, and in there it'll have three options. So let's just say you do Uber Eats. So you have three options. It'll just have your vehicle's name, which just means your vehicle's name and the license plate, which just means that you're picking up and dropping off people. Then it'll say your vehicle name, license plate, and then it'll say both. Obviously meaning that you're doing Uber Eats and picking up people and dropping them off. And then it'll have an option that just says Uber Eats. So that's what it means by trip type. You have a trip preference, so you can actually select it now. The other thing too that they've actually done, and I've asked about it, a lot of people are asking about it, how come we cannot see the customer's destination? The one answer that I got back from Uber customer service is that it's a privacy issue. They don't want drivers picking and choosing. So what they did, I guess they called it a compromise. So they have a long trip notification. Now they say on some of their websites, some of the places that I've seen, that if a trip is estimated to be 45 minutes or more, it'll give you a long trip notification, and it'll say long trip plus 45. Well, I had a trip that was 30. It was only 30 minutes, and it still gave me that plus 45. This is good because, especially for those of us who have children or we have other things that we just have to do in life, we might have to go to another job and we can't take a long ride. So that helps us plan. At least they're giving us that. So the privacy issue thing I can see, and then the driver's cherry picking, I'm not too sure about that, but it is what it is. At least they gave us that. So you got your long trip notifications. Now, the other thing that you have a lot of areas, especially DC, and this is one of the reasons why I associated my account from Baltimore, changed it from Baltimore to DC, is because DC has better promotions. Now, I found this out through another YouTuber, another Uber driver that frequents the BWI TNC lot as well. So I switched over, I associated my account with DC. Still allows me to drive in Maryland, DC, Delaware, and Virginia. I still get to drive in all those places, but my account is based in DC. So now quests are actually popping up, more quests than I ever had with Baltimore. So since the time I've been driving for Uber since January, I only had the one quest, and that was it. And that was like the first month I started driving, and I never got another one. As soon as I associated my account with DC, then I got 3 quests that popped up. Unfortunately, I was out and I wasn't able to take advantage of them, but this week I'm going to be taking advantage of them. When that changeover happens, I'm going to take advantage of them. So you get better promotions. So that's another thing, knowing your business, knowing when the good times are to drive, when the times are just to go and say, hey, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to have a Coke and a smile, if that's what you want to call it, or I'm just going to go home, take a nap, and then come back out. So a lot of people I know in my area, I start driving around like super early in the morning, maybe 3 or 4 in the morning, to catch those going to work. Then I'll take a break. Then I'll catch those going to or getting off work, the 2 rush hour times. And then I'll hit airport rides and also, down to DC. So those are things, and especially on the weekends, now that my account is associated in DC and I'm going to get those quests, I'm going to be down in DC a lot more. So another part to think about in knowing your business is, when you get a customer in your vehicle, and when you give them the greeting of the day, or they give you the greeting of the day, you'll get a feel for if they're a talker. For instance, you might have somebody that gets in the vehicle and has headsets on. Chances are they're not going to be a talker. You may have somebody that gets in and immediately, bam, hey, how's your day been? That kind of stuff. Or you may hit them up and you strike up a conversation and it just goes on. So you get a feel for your customer, whether this is the first time you've driven with this customer or it's the second or third time. I've had instances where I've driven the same person over 10 times. So we've kind of developed a relationship. So knowing your business, knowing your customers, if you get them multiple times, and getting a feeling for the ones that are going to, participate in a conversation or not. Another thing is that they've changed is now they add a thanks or no thanks. Oh, I'm sorry, accept trip or a no thanks button. So the no thanks button, for those of us who use the Maestro Driver app, it works in the Maestro Driver app too. So when the trip pops up, if you don't want to take it, it'll say no thanks. I'm sorry for the lighting. My computer just dimmed off a little bit. But you can say no thanks. Now, when you click no thanks, it still will accept, or it still will affect your acceptance rating, but it won't affect your promotions and it won't affect your account status, provided that you don't just keep saying no thanks all the time. So these are some of the things that I just went over, are some of the things as far as knowing your business. Now, the very last thing, this is one of the biggest reasons that when I ask customers, hey, what do you prefer? Do you prefer riding in a taxi, a bus, Uber, Lyft, Via, even Juno, which they're testing in Manhattan? Another thing of knowing your business, right? Knowing what other ride shares are out there. Juno, they're testing it in Manhattan. You can look that up on the web. Via, a lot of people already know about that. That's in DC. So knowing what's coming out. Amazon, there's the Amazon program, the Amazon drop-off program. That just hit Baltimore. That just hit it. So I'm going to sign up for that. But getting back to, knowing the other parts about knowing your business, let's talk about your office. Your office being your vehicle. The number one reason why customers prefer Uber or Lyft drivers or any of these other ride shares is because vehicles typically tend to be cleaner. The drivers tend to be friendlier, more talkative, play music, whatever the case may be. So make sure that your office is clean, organized, vacuum, smell good. Of course, you're not always going to please everybody. So if it smells good to you, that's what you worry about. You're not always going to please everybody. Make sure that you play clean music. Now, you can stream Pandora through your Uber app, or you can stream it outside. If you do it, one of the promotions that were going on a while ago is that if you stream Pandora through your Uber app, it won't charge you data. Your phone, that depends on if you have an unlimited plan or a data package plan. But if you streamed it through Uber, it wouldn't charge you data. So what I do, I have 2 Pandora accounts. One for me, when it's just me and my people in the car, and another is for the customers. So in your Pandora app, you can go into the settings menu and you can choose, especially for those of us who listen to music that has explicit lyrics, or comedy, that whatever you listen to on Pandora that has explicit lyrics, you can turn that option off. So it will filter out those songs that have or activities that you're listening to that has explicit lyrics. Now, every now and then a song is going to pop off and it's going to catch you by surprise. You can't help that. Usually if I hear something with explicit lyrics in it, I just skip it. I skip it, just so that way I don't even have to worry about that being a comment on from a rider as an issue. So know your business. We are all trained drivers by virtue of having gone through a driver's test and done a written test. We're not trained as far as knowing every single street. Like, I've lived in Baltimore, Maryland most of my life, and there are streets that I don't know. So you don't expect to know every single street. If that was the case, you wouldn't have a need for a GPS. So do the best you can, be friendly and courteous to your customers, and just know your business, know what type of promotions are out there, know if your customers are going to be kind of talkative or not. You'll get a feel for them, and just, just drive safe. So with that, if anybody has any questions, feel free to hit me up. I'm the Coolbmore driver. I'm going to leave, as always, I'm going to leave my promotion codes up, my website, my email address. And if you got any questions, feel free to hit me up. I'm going to put my YouTube channel name up. Please, if you like the videos that I'm posting, and there's some other information you'd like to know, please put a like, subscribe to my channel, and just let me know what kind of information you'd like to hear about. And I'll do my best to do the research and post it on my YouTube channel and on my website, www.coolbmoredriver.com. All that information I'm about to put up. So with that being said, have a wonderful day. Everybody be safe. Get your customers safe, and you be safe. Have a great day. Coolbmore driver out of here.